Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 7, Defining Women. We open this episode with Kyle dropping off toys and games at Crystal's house for the children's charity. I'm assuming it's around Christmas time because I'm hoping it's around Christmas time because Kyle is in a Christmas sweater and she's got like reindeer antlers on her head. Kyle says to her, the amount of dumplings I ate at your house, I just want to apologize. And then we get a flashback to when they made dumplings at Crystal's house and Kyle just shoveling them in. I'm surprised that Bravo didn't have a counter in the corner where we see how many she ate. But anyway, Crystal goes, how many do you think you ate? Which I found to be a weird question, although she does have food issues, so I'm cutting her some slack because I think the host would just say, oh, stop it. Don't worry about it. Instead, she goes, well, how many did you eat? And Kyle's like, I don't know, maybe 20. And she kind of laughs. And Crystal goes, ooh, that's a lot. Over at Dorit's, you hear her go, how are you, my love bug? And I swear to God, she got me again. I am always surprised that it isn't Phoenix or Jagger that she's talking to. PK is apparently her love bug. Anyway, I guess PK is doing some live stream thing in London. Apparently, he's going to be away for 2 weeks, and he wants an 8-foot cardboard cutout of Dorit in a bikini to take with him so that he doesn't miss her. Why 8 feet? Why not life size? Why would you want her to be bigger than a human? You know? All right, we check in with Rinna. She's doing a promo for some charity. And as she promised, Sutton swings by to pick up Erica from her tiny little crappy dollhouse. That's bigger than my home. Sutton, of course, is in her new Bentley convertible. Sutton said, it's my midlife crisis divorcee car. In Erica's confessional, she said, based on Tom's 2 previous divorces, he's a fighting motherfucker till the end. If I got a Bentley out of the divorce, I'd be thrilled. Then as they're driving along, someone from the all-aboard Hollywood tour van yells out at Erica, don't divorce your husband. Apparently, The Hustler and the Housewife has not aired yet. Okay, so they end up at a spa that Sutton has rented out so that they can be in there mask-free. Again, this feels very suspect to me. I'm not sure where California was with the COVID restrictions at the time of this filming, but where I live, we were still pretty much locked down. Only essential businesses were open. So a spa, where you're going to be touched, maybe massaged, maybe take a shower. I don't know. It just feels more to me like these places had to be closed anyway. And so for a price, they opened up to film for the housewives, make a little money when they can't have customers coming in anyway. But regardless, they're there for pampering. And Sutton, being a sweetie and also very thoughtful, has also put together a little divorce kit for Erica. It's got snacks and candy and chips and champagne in it. It's very cute. Erica says she has good days and some days when she feels lost in her new crappy little neighborhood, no doubt. But she knows Tom is mad, and she doesn't expect him to roll over and say, here, honey, here's a small fortune. Does she know his money is gone? I cannot figure out the timeline here. I just think she probably knows more than... I don't know. I do wonder if she knows that he has no money left, and that's why she's preparing herself to live all of us. In her confessional, Erica said, I know how mean and utterly dismissive Tom can be. Another fun flashback from 2015, the year we all got to see the real Tom Girardi. And geez, that man does not like to be interrupted. Has Kyle ever been around him? I'm guilty of putting 2015 Tom out of my mind so that I was able to think of him as this adorable pixie of a man. But, that's just not true. I mean, I never thought he was the monster that he actually is. But I remember those little flickers of I'm speaking now, and then, he's just the fun, personable guy, and he's just a tiny little sprite of a fella. You could just, cuddle and tuck him right in your pocket. But he's not. I guess we all well, not all, but me, I'll just speak for me. I guess I just kind of started to think he was adorable and wanted to maybe just shove that part of him out of my mind. Can't do that anymore, thanks to the hustler and the housewife. All right, now we are at Crystal's house. She's having a little kickboxing workout in her backyard. Back with Erica and Sutton. Erica's in the cryotherapy chamber, and it's 111 degrees below zero. I mean, she's only in there for 3 minutes, but still at 111 below, I would feel like that's like you'd get frostbite or something. I don't know. Sutton does it for 1 minute. Then they get in the sauna, and Sutton said, "Should I get one of these?" And Erica goes, "I have one." Well, I had one. And Sutton goes, "Okay, I have to ask. Are you mad at him for not coming to New York and seeing you in Chicago?" Now, I cannot wait to hear the answer because I remember her answering Andy that question, I think at the reunion. And she said, "Oh, Tom never got to come because he was waiting for like closing night or something. And then it got shut down early because of COVID. So unfortunately, he never got to see her." It'll be interesting to see what she says. Oh, side note, do you guys remember the reunion? The year that she wrote her memoir, the first book she wrote, and Andy asked her, "What did Tom think of it?" And she said, "He hasn't read it." And Andy's like, he didn't read it? She was so like, she was acting like, yeah, that's a normal thing. In fact, I even did a skit about it at the beginning of that episode. I'll link it here. But I just remember the look on her face, like she was kind of mad at Andy. Like she wanted to shut down that line of conversation. Anyway, now in the sauna of truth, she nods her head. And Sutton goes, "I would have been pissed." And Erica said, "Yeah, it hurt." Then in her confessional, Erica said, "Then I had to go out there and defend him." We get a clip of the reunion when Andy asked her what Tom thought of the show. She answered, "Well, Tom couldn't make it because of COVID." So she does say that a lot of the reason she was able to do the show in the first place is because of all the support Tom gave her through the years. So does she mean just financial support? You know, because she used to say that about her Erica Jane thing. Remember, Erica Jane cost $40,000 a month, and Tom was always okay with it. He never had a problem with it. I mean, I guess that was supporting her more than just financially, but mostly financially. Again, in Erica's confessional, she said, "My marriage wasn't like Kyle and Mauricio or Dorit and PK, and that's the hardest part for me to reconcile." She says that in New York, she realized, I'm alone here. I'm really all alone, and I'm okay. And Sutton said, "Well, I hope you're relaxing here." And she said, "Yeah, this is really so nice of you. You know, Sutton, you are the most kind-hearted, generous person in my life. And that's just who you are." And Sutton goes, "It is. Thank you." It is. Next, we are at Garcelle's house, and she just finishes up doing her talk show remotely. She comes out of the bedroom. Her housekeeper is making fried cauliflower that looks so good. And one of her sons asks her, "What happened to my goldfish?" Yeah, it appears as though Kyle, the plain goldfish, has, swam upstream to the heavens. But when he found out that it was Kyle, the plain goldfish, he's like, "Oh, I don't care about that one. That's the bad one." Oh, God. Garcelle goes, "Oh, wow. Okay." Bravo gives a little memorial tribute to Kyle Bouvet, 2020 to 2020. So then they're eating. Garcelle asks her boys how they would feel if she got remarried again. They do not like the idea. Jack says, "I would not like it." And Jade said, "Why would you want to get married again?" They're 13. Garcelle's like, "We don't have to talk about it right now. It is not remotely happening anytime soon." And Jade goes, "Except if Brad Pitt comes along." And Garcelle goes, "Oh, well, then all bets are off." Next, Erica pulls up in Rinna's driveway in her crappy little Range Rover. I know the people just seeing me for the first time are going to be like, "Why does she keep saying that?" It's a joke because the house she's renting is bigger than mine, and she's acting like it's a tiny little dollhouse. It's got an in-ground pool and a cabana, and because all the ladies acted like Erica was a charity case because she had to buy a Range Rover for her new car instead of a Bentley. So that's all. Don't get upset. I'm just making fun of Erica's shitty little life. All right, so Erica asks Lisa Rinna if she's in the Christmas spirit, and I guess she is because she's got 2 little Santa hats with her. And the 2 of them get in Erica's car, and they're driving what seems for like a really long time. They're having a long conversation. Erica tells Rinna that she went to Garcelle's house the night before, and they were talking, and Garcelle said to her, "So do you mind if I talk a little gossip?" And Erica said, "No, by all means." Now we get a flashback to one day earlier, and Garcelle said, "I went to a store, and the salesperson there said, I saw Tom at a restaurant with a blonde girl that's 60 years old." Erica, it's possible, but I don't know who that person is. Garcelle, so no third party on his part? Erica, not that I know of. In Erica's confessional, she said, "It's not the first time that I've heard it, but if I'm an 81-and-a-half-year-old and still out there trying to get some, hats off to you, player." Okay. Side note, I would watch the whole hour of just Erica in the confessional. You know? I don't need scenes of, Crystal kickboxing or Garcelle eating dinner with her boys, Kyle dropping off games. Nope. Just give me this new Erica who's holding back nothing in the diary room. So Erica goes on to tell Lisa, then Garcelle and I got into all the other stuff that's being said about me. Flashback to Garcelle. Okay, Scooter Braun, what's happening with him? Were you in a sex shop? Erica's like, no. Erica goes, then I was seeing my old Dancing with the Stars partner. And Lisa goes, oh yeah, Gleb. Then I was seeing Scooter Braun. Rinna, I did see that. Yeah. She's laughing, and Erica goes, I haven't seen either one of them in 4.5, 5 years. Rinna, where does that come from? And Erica goes, I don't know, but it's silly as f. And you can't even acknowledge it. Rinna goes, oh yeah, and no one would believe you anyway. Then Lisa Rinna says, well, on another note, we can talk about my daughter who is linked to a guy named Scott Disick. And I was like, oh, come on, right? Like, right? Come on. Erica, okay, because when I was reading all that shit about me, I glanced over and I was like, well, no. We see the dailymail.com article. It says Scott Disick, 37, and Amelia Hamlin, 19, are going to a Halloween party together or something. Lisa, I thought the same thing. She's like, no, we're just friends. Flashback to 3 weeks earlier. Lisa's on FaceTime with Amelia, and she goes, we have to take Dad out to dinner. Amelia, okay, but Halloween? I'm going with my friend, Scott. She mouths it. And then she's like, I'm safe. And Lisa goes, okay, I'm responsible. You don't need to worry about me. Lisa, okay. So in the car, Lisa says, and then a couple days ago, Amelia sends me a video of them on the beach. And Erica goes, yeah, that's what I saw. So there is something to it? Lisa, yes. Erica, oh, Amelia. Rinna, yep. I mean, can Erica really get judgy about this? So Erica says she's a little nervous for her. Lisa says she's a lot nervous. Erica's like, if you push her, it'll be worse. Does Harry think that too? And Lisa goes, yeah, Harry was with Ursula when he was 28 and she was 44. Erica, I was with Tom when I was 28 and he was 50 or whatever, add 33 years. So Bravo does the math. She was 28, he wasn't 50, he was 61. So when she was Amelia's age, he was 52. I mean, she didn't get with him until she was 28, but still. Finally, Erica does agree that she can't really judge. Thank you. Lisa says she hasn't reached out to the Kardashians. Like, I guess Kris. Is she friends with Kris? I don't know. I know that Kyle and Kathy are, or Kyle is. I think their family is. She says she hasn't reached out because what am I going to do? Text Kris like, welp? She's like, no, I just decided not to bring attention to it. So they finally, after this long drive, arrive at this little store. I mean, it's cute, but it doesn't seem like I would drive 45 minutes for it. It's like a little Christmas shop. Erica needs to get decorations for her shitty little house. Kyle calls while they're in that store and invites them to have drinks at the Huntley on the patio. And they're like, yeah, sure, let's do it. They're talking about the city shutting down again. So I don't know. I'm still not sure about like the time frame. We check in with Kyle at home. Mauricio is grilling steaks outside. Kyle and Portia are in the kitchen. Portia is a 12-year-old who's fully immersed in her teenage years. She's angsty, she's sarcastic. We see a flashback to adorable little 3-year-old Portia. She's so cute. Those cheeks. Kyle said that Sophia and Portia are each other's like favorite person in the whole world, and that it's been really hard on Portia since Sophia has gone away to college. And then with the pandemic, Portia's never even been in her new school. So maybe it's like a middle school that she was going to. And, you know, it's been all online, so she's not socializing with anybody. And this year, Portia is having her bat mitzvah. And Kyle said, you know, she's gone to no other kids' bat mitzvahs because of COVID. So she's a little worried about Portia. Portia's nervous about, we see her with the rabbi, she's nervous about the speaking Hebrew portion of it. She goes, yeah, I'm not good at that. So Kyle says to Mauricio, she's nervous about that. So anything we can do to help her and get her ready so that she's more comfortable and confident about it, we need to do. So as Portia's walking past him, Mauricio says something to her in Hebrew. Portia, stop. Oh gosh, they're fun at that age. Okay, so Kyle has set up a surprise for Portia. She just wants to get her out of her funk and do something to make her happy. But Bravo has been teasing this 100 million times, so we already know that it's Sophia coming home from school and surprising Portia. I guess Sophia's supposed to come home a week later, and they're surprising her with her being a week early. So they sit down to eat dinner, and Mauricio looks out the back. It's like a glass door to their yard. And he goes, "What? Who's that?" And Portia looks and she sees that it's Sophia, and she bursts into tears. I mean, she is bawling her eyes out. I mean, and then after all that, I'm like, why doesn't she come in? Why is she standing out there? She's got to quarantine away from her for, I guess, a couple days. Even though Sophia said she tested negative, but they're going to wait a couple days before. So she can't touch her. She can't give her a hug. You guys, it is brutal. Even Portia said, this is worse than if she was in another state. Yeah, I get it. It's like just, taunting something right in front of her that she can't have. Oh, good job making her happy, Kyle. Okay, next we are at Dorit's house, where she is hanging a 40-foot picture of herself on the wall. Hey, that's big enough for PK to take to London. No, seriously though, it's very cool. It reminds me a little bit of Sutton's portrait that she had in her house that I loved of her and her daughter. It's kind of different. I love the yellow across her eyes, and I think it's cool. A little Carmen Miranda-ish with all the stuff in her hair, or a little Frida Kahlo, maybe. At Crystal's house, she's getting her glam done for the cocktail party that Kyle is hosting. Then she goes down to the kitchen with Lucy, her sassy housekeeper that I love. And Lucy has just made brownies, and Crystal goes, "Can I have one of the brownies?" And she said yes. And Crystal said, "Because I don't ever eat." Lucy gives this side eye over her glasses that is to die for. Crystal goes, "Well, that's a lie. I eat too much." Yeah, that's probably a lie too. All right, so Kathy Hilton arrives at Crystal's house because they're going together to Kyle's cocktail party. Sutton arrives at Kyle's house, and those two are going together. Sutton's wearing a very subtle bow on her shirt. Not quite as subtle as Leah's bow that she wore this season on Roni, but, still very understated and lovely. Erica and Lisa are going together, of course. Boy, those two have really become besties, haven't they? So everyone is apparently going in twos, except for Dorit. Maybe Dorit is going with her portrait. All right, so we check in with Kathy and Crystal. Crystal asks her what they're doing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and Kathy said, I think we're going to lay low, take it easy. Crystal said they are too, just her mom is coming over. And Kathy said, "Is she a good cook?" Crystal, "No." And she goes, "Well, she does. She makes a very good Chinese soup, but that's pretty much all she makes." So then Kathy goes, "Oh, soup. Well, that's how a chef is judged, by their soup." And Crystal goes, oh, really? Well, then she's a very good chef. Cut over to Kathy, who's like just filing her nails, not listening, paying attention or whatever. So Crystal's kind of like, Kathy, I'm thinking about getting these long nails, you know? No response from Crystal. Then we cut to Kyle and Sutton's car. They're wondering if Crystal is coming. Sutton, I hope we get along. We just have to laugh it off. And she has to get a sense of humor about things. And Kyle goes, Crystal has a sense of humor. She's funny. Sutton, I would love to see her sense of humor. Kyle, have you not seen it yet? Sutton, there's a pause and she goes, no, but I have seen her tits. Just kidding. Okay, Kathy and Crystal are the first ones to arrive at the Huntley. Dorit is next. By herself, must have left the portrait at home. Oh, Garcelle is here now. I totally forgot about Garcelle. She could have come with Dorit. I don't know where anybody lives. Who's near each other or not, I don't know. Garcelle makes Dorit stand up so she can see her outfit, and Dorit, as usual, is in head-to-toe Louis Vuitton. Dress, her coat, her purse. In her confessional, Garcelle said, Dorit really commits to her brands. You're never going to wonder, is that Louis Vuitton? Because it's screaming. Next to arrive are Kyle and Sutton. Sutton says, I'm going to do a strip tease. And she just takes off her mask and swings it around. The camera does pause tensely on Crystal's face, though. But it was fine. Everyone laughed. And then finally, Erica and Rinna arrive. The ladies move over to where they have hors d'oeuvres laid out, and they're standing around talking, chatting in different groups. And Kathy Hilton asks Lisa Rinna, how are your girls? Now, Kathy is friends with Kris Jenner, but I don't know if Kyle's more of her friend or if Kathy is more of her friend. But not that it's... Listen, Scott Disick has 3 kids with Kourtney Kardashian. They're not still together. They haven't been for a long time. But Scott is such a part of the family that even after he wasn't with Kourtney anymore, like, he would just go over to Kris Jenner's house and hang out with her and stuff. Like, he's a huge part of their family. So, to be honest with you, I think Lisa is thrilled that Amelia is with Scott Disick. Because I think in Lisa's mind, it kind of makes her Kardashian adjacent. Anyway, Kathy asks her, how are the girls? And Lisa said, good, yeah, they're good. Kathy's like, very good. Yeah, good. Real good, so. Then Rinna goes, I have a question for everybody. When I meet Scott Disick for the first time, do I need to call him Lord? It's not like a joke that goes over, like not everybody is laughing. Some people are probably confused about the whole thing. And Kathy said, absolutely, and you need to curtsy. So she's going along with this. And like I said, rather than like a, laughter all around, there's a little groaning, and Kyle goes, he's too damn old. Lisa, I know. Kyle, and he's got 3 kids. Now Bravo must have asked the question of all the ladies, because we see their confessionals one by one. Would you be freaked out if your daughter was dating an older man? They start with Erica, who says, would I be freaked out if my daughter was dating an older man? I was the daughter dating the older man, so no. That's not what you were saying in the car with Lisa, though. You said you were worried about Amelia and all that. Okay. Kyle's next, and she said, I just wouldn't allow it, Garcelle. Hell no. And this is the confessional where she's dressed like a vampire. So that makes it even scarier. Sutton says, I would lock her up in her room and take away her phone and spank her. Kathy in her said, as someone who knows a little something about having your daughters in the public eye, it could be worse. So I guess Dorit was in the bathroom because now she comes out, and immediately Rinna said, Dorit, we're talking about Scott Disick. And Dorit goes, oh, mazel tov or no? Everyone's weighing in on that. No. Well, except for Kathy Hilton, who says, isn't that Merry Christmas? Kathy in her confessional, the producer said, mazel tov, what does that mean to you? Kathy says, happy celebration, good luck, Merry Christmas. So now Dorit, who's standing right next to Kathy, said, congratulations. Bear in mind, Kathy just said, isn't that Merry Christmas? And Dorit said, no, congratulations. Kathy, on? Dorit is just confused. Dorit goes, Mazel Tov means congratulations. Kathy, oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry. I don't know if Kathy is doing this on purpose, but I'm loving every minute of her, guys. Anyway, Kathy says to Rinna, just tell her, do not be the cow that buys the milk for free, or whatever that is. Kyle, trying to help Kathy, says, why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? Dorit, no, the other way around. They are made for each other, those Richards sisters. Someone must have asked what Harry thought, and Rinna goes, well, Daddy thought he was 27, Erica. And then he found out he was 47. And everyone laughs, and she goes, I'm kidding, he's 37. So Kyle's like, this too shall pass. That's all I'm going to say to you, Lisa. This too shall pass. So everyone's like comforting Lisa with the fact that this is just a phase. They're not going to be together forever. Don't worry about it. All that kind of thing. But again, I don't think Lisa is as upset as she's pretending to be. I really don't. She's a little bit of a social climber. Do you guys remember when she was trying to get Amelia and Delilah to be models? It was like she was trying to get them to follow in the footsteps of Bella and Gigi Hadid when Yolanda was on the show. And it felt, I don't know, it was creepy. It was a little like stage mom-ish, but also, ooh, you've got that for your girls. I want that for my girls too. Now, listen, I'm not saying they aren't beautiful girls, and yeah, it worked out. They're big, huge models themselves. To be fair, I don't know that they're on the level of like Bella and Gigi, who are, supermodels. But yeah, I mean, they're on their way if they aren't already. Anyway, Garcelle says this very, very sweet thing. She said, my son Oliver, who I thought was lost beyond lost, he calls me one day and he goes, Mom, I met this girl and we hit it off. She has an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And when he told me Sam was pregnant, I thought, my God, this kid knows how to sabotage his life. Then we get a flashback to when she shared with the ladies that Oliver was battling addiction and things like that. Then Garcelle says, you know what? The best thing that ever happened to him was Sam. They are all now my grandchildren. So you can't judge a book by its cover. So, you hear that, Lisa? Scott Disick could be your Sam. You could be a grandmother to the same children that Kris Jenner is a grandmother to. So they all sit down to eat, and they're all telling their own stories. Kathy said, my mother couldn't stand Rick at the beginning because he was bold. Kyle, when I met Mauricio, I wasn't Jewish, I was divorced. And Erica goes, oh, that's right, you had been married. I didn't know that. She was divorced with a baby, so I didn't know that her oldest daughter was not Mauricio's either. Anyway, she said, I wasn't Jewish, I was divorced, had a kid, I was an actress. Like, could it get any worse? His grandmother acted like I was invisible. So I sat down and I wrote her this long letter saying, I love your grandson and no one is going to treat him better than I will. And she said it really kind of changed things around for her. And Sutton is like saying to Garcelle, so you're going to tell me about these guys. And then to the whole table, she goes, Garcelle has 3 boyfriends right now. Anyway, she tells the story that her dating coach made her sign up to Bumble. And she said, I had to verify my picture 5 times because people thought I was catfishing them. Of course. She's gorgeous Garcelle Bouvet. What guy's going to believe that that's really her? Anyway, Kathy said, you never know what's going to last forever. Erica, nothing lasts. And then Sutton goes, forever. And she like sings it out. Kathy, oh, that was cute, Thomasina. Everyone is dying laughing. Rinna, tell us what Thomasina means. And Kathy, the peeping Tom thing. I thought it was funny that you said that. So then Kyle says, well, Kathy had been away, so I filled her in and explained like everything that was going on in Tahou. Okay, Kathy was in Tahou though. It's like she's always so out of it. Anyway, Kyle said, the word violated, okay, here we go. The word violated gave it the implication that it was sexual. You know, it really felt like that, Crystal. Look, I was naked and I felt uncomfortable, period. But I didn't make it sexual. And, you know, I was thinking about this. She's allowed to feel her privacy was violated. You know, in Kyle's confessional, she said, you know, I've been in a public bathroom when I'm peeing and someone opens the door on me accidentally. I don't feel violated. I'm sure it wasn't fun for them either. Crystal, the word violate actually means not respecting personal space. Rinna, well, it also means violation of privacy. Oh, great. Now I'm thinking like Lisa Rinna. Well, my daughter bought enough talentless sweatshirts and sweatpants during lockdown last year to at least earn her a date with Scott Disick, I would think. So Lisa says, you know, can also be violation of privacy. And Crystal said, correct. It means to abuse your privacy. Okay, so Bravo keeps adding the definitions and changing them on the Chiron. Every time Crystal gives a different definition. Oh my God, I forgot that. Bravo just showed us a flashback to when Kathy knocked on Sutton's door in the middle of the night when she had 9 pillows and like an oscillating fan in her arms. And Sutton said, I'm naked in here. What do you want? Kathy comes right in. I'm just checking on you. So, yeah. Good thing you didn't do that to Crystal, Kathy. Crystal would have been okay with Kathy doing it. I genuinely believe that a huge part of this is that Crystal doesn't like Sutton. They were in a very bad place with each other. You know, they kind of basically butted heads from the very beginning. Anyway, Garcelle defends Sutton by saying, to me, a violation of privacy is intentional. Sutton didn't know you were naked. Erica, exactly. That's the truth. Sutton, violation is a little strong. Rinna, yeah, it's a big word. Crystal, look it up. It's not. I would have said, oops, and turned around and walked right out again. Yeah, that's true. I would have done that too. Sutton kind of sighs and she's like, your light was on. I wanted to talk to you. I knocked. I heard you talking. I thought you said come in. I was not being creepy. Crystal, the reality is what it is. Sutton, but see, now I'm getting angry. And you do not want to see me angry. Crystal kind of laughs at that. Sutton, I'm not in an emotionally bad place right now. I'm not moving. I'm not sad. I'm getting angry. Crystal, you moved a long time ago. Stop blaming that. Sutton, oh my God, who are you? Crystal, I'm a person that tells the truth. Sutton, I moved 2.5 weeks before we went to Tahou, so I was very vulnerable. And I'm sorry for that. I apologize to all of you. But I'm not going to sit here and let you make me look like some kind of weirdo. That's not what happened, and you know it. You need to tell these girls that nothing weird happened. Crystal, I already said that. Sutton, then we need to all agree on it because this is my reputation on the line. You're making it sound like I walked in and, ooh, I don't know what's going on over there, Mr. Poppins. Everyone's laughing. Kathy, who's Mr. Poppins? Sutton, I don't know, somebody that wears glasses. Okay, is she thinking of Mr. Peanut? He wore a monocle, right? Did he? Am I thinking of something? Wait. Why would a peanut wear a monocle? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. No, I think it's Mr. Peanut. He had a top hat and a monocle. Things you don't think of as a kid, but like Mr. Peanut was quite a fancy gentleman. In Garcelle's confessional, she's like, who the hell is Mr. Poppins? Did Mary Poppins have a man and I don't? Because that is seriously messed up. Anyway, Garcelle said Sutton would never come in with the intention of... Crystal cuts her off and goes, and I said that to everyone here, did I not? Now Dorit said, no, the conversation was a little different than that. we see a flashback to Crystal. I'm sure this was still in Tahou. She's in a car with Dorit, Lisa Rinna, and Erica. Crystal's like, she comes in, I was butt naked, and then she continues in, and she's like, oh, what are you doing over there? So I told her it was really creepy. I felt like I had no boundaries. Like, when you fucking stand over there and say, what are you doing? Fucking changing, and I'm naked. It's creepy. So now Kathy says, girls, listen, you are moving. Everybody's under a lot of pressure, okay? And everyone's like, yes, they all agree. And you, she says to Crystal, you were away from your kids for the first time in 7-8 months. You had a lot going on. I mean, I know the night before the trip, I called Kyle, like, what have I gotten myself into? And as excited as I was to go, I was also really scared. But I had my sister there, and I had Lisa there. Erica, I had met several times. Dorit's like right across from her going, are you going to skip me? And she goes, and my buddy here. Dorit goes, thank you, Kathy. My English girl. Yeah. Dorit, huh? I'm not English. I'm from Connecticut, goddammit. Kyle, everyone is dying. Kyle's left. Yes, Dorit, the British girl. Dorit, I'm not English. My husband is English. Erica leans over to Kathy. She's from Connecticut, babe. Kathy, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But Sutton, she says, I know a lot of people love and adore you, and I have never heard anything shady about you. Sutton, yeah, because I'm normal. Yeah, let's not take it that far. I love you so much, but normal. Kathy goes, so it's telephone. And Sutton said, and it's a very dangerous game when it's about someone's character. So then Sutton says right to Crystal, I know that I'm a little off. And Kathy goes, why? No, you're not. Why do you say that? Sutton goes, well, I have a giant bow on. It's okay. And Kathy goes, I love it. Anyway, Sutton goes on to say to Crystal, it's going to take me a minute to get over being told that I violated someone. That's a really strong word. Crystal, okay. Sutton, that word is always going to be rattling around in my brain. So you have to stop saying that I violated you. Crystal, I'm not going to back down on that word. Yeah. Sorry, and there's nothing else to say about it. It's done. Sutton goes, well, I gotta straighten my bow tie for that. And that is where this episode ended. Yeah, wow. What do you guys think about using the word violated? Do you think that Crystal's well within her rights to use that word? Do you think that is a big word and a little too strong? I can definitely understand why Sutton would like her to take that word off the table, because I can't even imagine if somebody thought that I violated them, you know? On the other hand, Crystal is allowed to feel however she felt. If it's an issue of her having body dysmorphia and being naked, it makes her feel like exceptionally vulnerable, maybe more so than other people, then she may very well have felt her privacy violated. And is it right to tell her she can't use that word if that is exactly how she felt, you know? I see both sides of this one. There's a lot to think about. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you liked this particular video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be notified every time I have a new video post, then please click on the bell icon and that will give you a notification. All right, that's it for me. I will see you next week with the next recap of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I love you guys. Bye.